Good afternoon, Seattle, and the rest of the world. How are you doing? It is 3:16 p.m. Pacific Time here in Mount Vernon, 60 miles from Seattle. Closer to Canada, almost. By 10 miles. Anyway, the death penalty. I saw a show which was lightheartedly discussed about it. It's called Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Death Penalty. He was on HBO. Why are we still having the death penalty when the only people that have the death penalty, the only countries are third world countries, China and the Middle East, basically? Do we want to be compared to those sorts? No. Wouldn't it be better, for one, the cost of executing somebody is much higher than keeping them in prison without parole until their death. Natural causes, of course. And why? And I'm serious about this. The death penalty is obscene. If a person has a cold, the execution can't take place. If the person has a heart attack, it can't take place. Okay? They revive the person that's had the heart attack, get him better or her, and then they execute them. That's that's sick and wrong. You won't let them die from a heart attack. You won't let them die from self-affliction to try and commit suicide. You won't let them die from an eye infection or tooth infection. But yet, you'll cure them, you'll make them better, and give them good meals, and then you execute them. There's something wrong with that concept. There's just something wrong. There's something wrong with allowing... now we're going to flip on to something else real quick. Having abortions beyond 20 weeks. When it's been found at the University of Colorado, Washington State College, and many others in the medical departments, medical students, that a baby can in fact be saved at before 20 weeks. We have women screaming, and I'm a woman. It's my uterus. Yes, it is your uterus. No doubt. It is a fine uterus that you used so prematurely. I'm not talking to rape victims or incest victims or people who are very ill. I'm not talking to people whose baby is stillborn. I'm not talking to those people. I am talking to women and young girls that use abortion as a form of birth control and believe it's okay. They want their conscience clear. The baby can't feel anything. It's not a baby. It's not viable. Well, it is viable, considering a baby, the infant can respond to music and your voice with a kick. When does our body become an incubator? And when do we become civilized? Do I agree with abortion? I believe in abortion the first 6 weeks. You would get one chance only. One mistake. After that, there are no more mistakes. It's called pick up celibacy, take the birth control. There's plenty of ways not to get pregnant. One is do not open your legs. It is your body. You are correct. But it is also not an appendage that you are carrying. You were once an appendage. An appendage. A cruel word used as someone sucking the breath out of you like a tumor. A fetus is not a tumor. And is separate from you, actually. Though you feed it, and it may be using your body as an oven, I don't think you have control of that from 20 weeks on. You may disagree. You may scream to the top of your lungs. But we really have got to start having more thought to what we do in America. It is not okay to kill. It is not okay to kill the wicked. It is not okay to kill the innocent. It's not okay. However, now we're going to turn another page. Terminal illness and the right to die law is completely different from the other two. It is them, their cells. They have the cancer. They're the ones that are suffering or will be suffering soon. And as long as they are not being pushed by other family members to commit suicide out of selfish reasons, and they have only their own reasons and no others, then they should be honored. Strange, strange, interesting, yet true. On closing, our animals that we put down when we don't need to because we're moving, or we set them free to die or become feral with other packs of dogs, or they starve to death. Why do we treat the living so badly? Why do we abuse our own? Why do we abuse others? We are farther behind than I thought. We help a dog or a cat or a mouse or whatever it is pass on when they are suffering, but yet we do not help the people who raised us, who loved us, who we care about. Rethink the positions where you stand and know that is it a moral issue? Yes, it is. It is a moral issue. Is it a biblical issue? Yes and no. It depends on which side of the spectrum you stand on. Biblical over here, and basic common sense over this way. And what do you end up in the middle? You end up with a challenge to think. Think of what real abuse is. We shouldn't pretend to have so much power. We have little. If we need to control others to have power, maybe it's time we don't. Maybe it's time that we're put in the category of ugly countries.